My abusive ex used to threaten every man who so much as looked at me, until I started dating an MMA fighter who's 6'5". My name's Madison. I'm 27 years old. 3 years ago, I finally left Derek after 4 years in the worst relationship of my life. But leaving him didn't mean he was gone. The threats began the day after I moved out. I was at Target, picking up essentials for my new apartment, when a guy around my age smiled at me in the cleaning aisle. It was just a friendly smile, nothing more. I smiled back because that's what normal people do. 2 hours later, Derek showed up at my new place. I still have no idea how he found my address. He pounded on the door so hard I thought it would break. "I saw you at Target," he shouted. "You think you can just move on, letting some random guy think he's got a chance with you?" I called the police. When they arrived, Derek had completely changed. Calm, polite, all smiles. He told them it was a misunderstanding, that we'd just broken up and things were emotional. The officers told us both to move on. That was the first time. The second happened at a coffee shop. The barista made small talk while making my latte. I didn't notice Derek sitting in the corner until later. That same barista, just a kid, maybe 19, finished his shift and found all 4 of his tires slashed. I knew who did it. He didn't, but I did. The third time was at the gym. A guy asked if I was done using a machine. Derek followed him to his car afterward, threatening him to stay away from me. The guy reported it to the staff, and after reviewing the footage, Derek was banned. But it didn't stop there. For 2 years, that was my life. I couldn't talk to men to get away with it. My friends told me to move. My mom begged me to come back home to Ohio. But I'd built a life in Austin, Texas. I had a good job as a graphic designer, a small apartment, and a routine I liked. Why should I be the one to run? So I stayed. And I disappeared. I stopped going out, stopped dating, barely left my apartment except for work. I was 25 and living like a prisoner. Then I met Cameron. It was a Wednesday afternoon. My laptop died in the middle of a big project, just completely shut down. Panicking, I ran to the repair shop 2 blocks from my office. Cameron was behind the counter. He was huge. I'm 5'4", and I had to tilt my head back to look at him. At least 6'5", broad shoulders, hands like dinner plates, and a scar running through his left eyebrow. His nose looked like it had been broken more than once. He looked intimidating, but his voice was gentle. "Hey, it's okay," he said. "We'll figure it out. Let me take a look." I told him everything about the deadline, my panic, the stress. He listened quietly, then smiled. "I can fix it in an hour. There's a cafe next door. Grab a coffee and come back. I've got you." I wanted to warn him not to be kind to me, not to get involved. But I was desperate and out of options. So I just said, "Thank you." An hour later, my laptop was fixed. Cameron refused to charge for labor. "First-time customer discount," he joked. "Just pay for the part." I should have walked away. But something about him felt safe. Maybe it was his size. Derek couldn't possibly scare a man like that. Or maybe I was just tired of being afraid. "Thank you," I said. "You really saved my day." "Anytime," he replied, handing me a business card. "We're here 6 days a week. If anything tech-related breaks, you know where to find me." I left, but half a block later, I saw Derek, across the street, watching me. Our eyes met. He smiled, a warning smile. My stomach dropped. I hurried back to work, shaken. That night, I drove past the repair shop, expecting to see chaos. Broken windows, police tape, but it was quiet. Cameron was still there, working. At 7, he locked up, got into a massive pickup truck, and left. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I couldn't focus. I kept checking the shop's Facebook page, expecting to see bad news, but nothing happened. At lunch, I walked by. Cameron was there, fine, helping customers. He saw me and waved. I waved back. Heart racing. 3 days passed. Still nothing. No sign of Derek. No vandalism. No threats. Saturday, I went to the farmer's market for the first time in over a year. I was picking tomatoes when I heard a familiar voice. Madison. I turned and saw Cameron. Casual clothes, tank top, reusable bag in hand. His arms were strong but scarred. "Hey," I said, "didn't know you came here." He smiled. "The stand over there has the best breakfast burritos in town. You tried them?" I shook my head. "Come on, my treat. Consider it an apology for overcharging you on that laptop repair." "You didn't overcharge me," I said. "I know, but I'm getting you one anyway." I couldn't say no. We grabbed burritos and lemonade and sat under a tree. We talked for hours. He told me about growing up in Minnesota, moving to Austin, and how he'd always loved tech, but needed a physical outlet. "Trained in what?" I asked. "MMA, mixed martial arts," he said. "I fight semi-professionally, 12 matches. Won 9. My stomach tightened. "You're a fighter?" "Yeah," he said, smiling. "I know what people think when they hear that I'm some violent meathead. But fighting's about control, not rage. When you know how to hurt someone, you also learn when not to." I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to leave. Part of me wanted to tell him about Derek. And part of me just wanted to sit there, enjoying a normal conversation for once. When we finally said goodbye, he asked. I hesitated. Every instinct said no, but I was exhausted from living in fear. So I gave it to him. That night, he texted, "Thanks for the farmer's market. That was nice. Want to get dinner sometime?" I stared at the message for 10 minutes before replying. "I need to tell you something first." Then I told him everything. About Derek, the stalking, the threats, the way men around me got hurt. How I hadn't dated in 2 years because I didn't want anyone else to suffer. I expected him to walk away, but instead he replied, "That's awful. I'm sorry you've gone through that. But I'm not afraid of your ex, and I'd still like to take you to dinner." We went out that Tuesday, to a nice Italian place downtown. I was tense, constantly scanning the room for Derek, but he wasn't there. Cameron talked about his upcoming fight, 3 weeks away, here in Austin. He seemed excited, but nervous. "My opponent's a wrestler," he said. "That's my weak spot." Striking. I'm a boxer first, but in MMA, you've got to be well-rounded. After dinner, he walked me to my car. "I had a great time," he said. "Can we do this again?" "Yes," I said, and I meant it. We started seeing each other regularly. 2 dates a week turned into 3, then 4. He never pushed for more than holding hands or a kiss goodnight. He was patient, kind, and for the first time in years, I felt safe. And Derek never showed up. Not once. It was strange, almost unsettling, but in a good way. I kept waiting for something to go wrong, but it never did. 3 weeks into dating, Cameron gave me tickets to his fight. I brought my best friend Jessica. She'd been with me through everything, had watched Derek destroy my life in real time. The word girlfriend made my heart race. I hadn't been anyone's girlfriend since Derek. That night, as we sat in his truck, Cameron turned serious. "I need to tell you something," he said. My stomach dropped. I thought he was about to say it was all too much, but instead, he said, "Your ex came to see me." I froze. What? About 2 weeks ago, he waited until I was alone at the shop, told me to stay away from you, threatened to ruin my life if I didn't. I felt sick. Cameron, I'm so sorry. I should have warned you better. He squeezed my hand. Let me finish. I let him talk, then told him I've been training for 12 years, fought some of the best in Texas, and if he ever came near you again, if he so much as texted or drove by your apartment, I'd make sure he regretted it. And it wouldn't be a threat, it'd be a promise. My hand shook. What did he do? Tried to act tough for a few seconds, then left. Haven't seen him since. You threatened him? I asked. I didn't threaten him. I explained consequences, Cameron said firmly. There's a difference. Madison, I know you've been protecting people from him for years. You don't have to protect me. I can take care of myself, and I want to take care of you. 4 months later, that was 4 months ago. Derek hasn't contacted me since. No messages, no appearances, nothing. Cameron and I are still together. He's won 3 more fights, and last month we moved into a small house with a yard. It was his idea. He'd been living above his repair shop, and I was ready to leave behind the memories attached to my old apartment. House hunting became a healing process. I kept thinking about locks, lighting, and escape routes. Cameron noticed. We'll find a place where you feel safe, he said gently. Take your time. We finally found it, a cozy 2-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. The landlord, an older woman named Patricia, smiled when she met Cameron. Oh, good, you're a big one. We could use more good men on this street. Cameron laughed. I do my best, ma'am. We moved in on a Saturday. Jessica helped, along with Cameron's friends Marcus and David. They were fighters too, and treated me like family. Man, Cameron never shuts up about you, Marcus joked while carrying boxes. It's honestly annoying. Madison this, Madison that. We get it. You're in love. Cameron threw a roll of tape at him, laughing. That first night, we ate pizza on the floor since we had no furniture yet. Cameron put his arm around me. This is ours, he said softly. Our space, our life. Nobody else gets to touch this. I believed him. The next few months were the happiest I could remember. I was learning what a normal relationship felt like. Our first argument came about 3 months in. Something minor about him not calling when he was late. I panicked, thinking the worst. When he finally came home, I snapped. He didn't yell. He just said, "You're right. I should have called. I'm sorry." No shouting, no punishment, no silent treatment, just an apology and understanding. I cried, realizing how different this was from Derek, who used to turn every disagreement into a war. Cameron hugged me tightly. We'll fight sometimes. Sure, he said, but we'll fight fair, and we'll always come back to each other. 5 months in, I had a panic attack at dinner with Cameron's gym friends. One of them brought his new girlfriend, Emily. She was my age, dark-haired, and when she mentioned her toxic ex, something in me broke. Our first argument came about 3 months in. Something minor about him not calling when he was late. I panicked, thinking the worst. When he finally came home, I snapped. He didn't yell. He just said, "You're right. I should have called. I'm sorry." No shouting, no punishment, no silent treatment. Just an apology and understanding. I cried, realizing how different this was from Derek, who used to turn every disagreement into a war. Cameron hugged me tightly. We'll fight sometimes. Sure, he said, but we'll fight fair, and we'll always come back to each other. 5 months in, I had a panic attack at dinner with Cameron's gym friends. One of them brought his new girlfriend, Emily. She was my age, dark-haired, and when she mentioned her toxic ex, something in me broke. The room felt too loud, too crowded. I locked myself in the bathroom, struggling to breathe. Jessica found me and sat with me until I calmed down. "You're safe," she whispered. "Derek's not here. Cameron's outside. You're safe." Cameron took me home without asking a single question. That night, I apologized. I ruined dinner. "You didn't ruin anything," he said. "You had a panic attack. That's not your fault." He encouraged me to see a therapist again. Dr. Lisa Chen, a trauma specialist. She helped me understand what Derek did wasn't my fault, that surviving wasn't weakness, it was strength. Slowly, I began to feel like myself again. Last week at the grocery store, I saw Derek. He froze when he spotted me, then turned and walked the other way. I stood there, stunned, then laughed. For the first time, he was the one afraid. When I told Cameron, he grinned. "He ran from you. Good. I feel like I shouldn't be okay with that," I said. "You basically scared him off through intimidation. Isn't that just more of the same?" Cameron thought for a moment. "The difference is, I'm not controlling you. I'm not limiting your life. I just made sure he can't do that anymore." He was right. A few days later, I got a Facebook message from a woman named Amber. She said she just started dating Derek and things felt off. She asked if we could talk. I felt my stomach drop. Derek was repeating the same cycle. Cameron didn't hesitate. "Meet with her. Tell her everything. Give her the chance you never had." So I did. Amber was young and nervous. I told her everything, how Derek isolated me, tracked my phone, threatened men who spoke to me. Her face went pale. "He told me you were crazy," she whispered, "that you made everything up." "That's what he does," I said. "He rewrites history, makes himself the victim." Amber admitted he'd already started checking her phone, saying it was because of trust issues from his last relationship, from me. "Helping him heal," I said gently. "You're enabling him, and it's only going to get worse." She left in tears. 2 days later, she texted me. "I broke up with him. He screamed, punched walls, but I got out. Thank you." Cameron smiled when I told him. "You saved her," he said. "We saved her," I corrected. But it wasn't over. 3 days later, Amber called me terrified. "He's outside my apartment," she said, "just sitting in his car, watching." I grabbed my keys, but Cameron stopped me. "I'm coming with you." When we arrived, Derek's car was there. Cameron parked behind him, walked up, and knocked on the window. From the truck, I watched Derek's expression shift, from anger to fear. Then he drove off. When Cameron returned, I asked, "What did you say?" I reminded him of our last talk, Cameron said, and told him that if he harassed you, me, or anyone else again, I'd make sure his employer knew exactly who he is. "You found out where he works?" "Of course," he said. "Know your enemy. That's rule number 1. We stayed with Amber until she felt safe and gave her Dr. Chen's contact information. "Therapy helps," I told her. Today, Derek is gone. For good this time. And I finally understand what real safety feels like. Not because Cameron fights for me, but because he helped me remember how to fight for myself. Trust me, that weekend, we were back at the farmer's market, the same place where we'd had our first real conversation. We sat under the same tree, eating burritos, when Cameron said, "I'm fighting for the regional championship next month. It's the biggest match of my career." "I'll be there," I replied without hesitation. "I know you will," he said, taking my hand. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. He paused for a moment before continuing. "Madison, before I met you, fighting was everything to me. It defined who I was, my purpose, my life. But now, it's different. It still matters, but it's not everything anymore. You are." My heart started to race. He laughed. "Don't worry, I'm not proposing, not yet anyway. I just need you to know that meeting you changed everything. You reminded me there's more to life than fighting. That real strength isn't just about how hard you can hit. It's about who you protect, who you stand beside, and who you choose to fight for." I kissed him right there, under the tree, in the middle of the farmer's market. People probably stared, but I didn't care. 3 weeks later came the championship fight. Cameron's opponent was a fighter from Houston with an impressive record, 18 wins and only 2 losses. His coaches were nervous, but Cameron stayed calm. "I'm ready," he told me the night before the fight. "I've trained harder for this than anything in my life. But even if I lose, I've already won, because I have you." The fight was intense, 5 grueling rounds. It still matters, but it's not everything anymore. You are. My heart started to race. He laughed. "Don't worry, I'm not proposing. Not yet, anyway. I just need you to know that meeting you changed everything. You reminded me there's more to life than fighting. That real strength isn't just about how hard you can hit. It's about who you protect, who you stand beside, and who you choose to fight for." I kissed him right there under the tree in the middle of the farmer's market. People probably stared, but I didn't care. 3 weeks later came the championship fight. Cameron's opponent was a fighter from Houston with an impressive record, 18 wins and only 2 losses. His coaches were nervous, but Cameron stayed calm. "I'm ready," he told me the night before the fight. "I've trained harder for this than anything in my life. But even if I lose, I've already won, because I have you." The fight was intense, 5 grueling rounds. Cameron took some hard hits, his face bloodied by the 3rd round, but he refused to give up. He kept pressing forward, every move powered by determination. I could barely watch. Jessica sat beside me, holding my hand. Every time Cameron took a hit, I flinched. Every time he got back up, I cheered louder. In the 5th round, with less than a minute left, Cameron landed a flawless combination. His opponent went down, and the referee called the fight. Cameron won. The crowd erupted. I screamed until my throat ached. Jessica jumped up and down beside me. When Cameron was announced as the new regional champion, I broke down in tears. Happy tears. The kind I hadn't cried in years. After the match, in the locker room, Cameron's face was swollen and bruised, one eye nearly closed, but he was smiling. "We did it," he said. "You did it," I replied. "No, we did it. Do you think I could have focused on training if I was constantly worried about some guy threatening you? You freed me just as much as I freed you." He was right. We'd saved each other. A few weeks after that victory, Cameron received an offer from a larger promotion. Better pay, wider recognition, tougher opponents. It also meant more travel, more risks, and more time apart. "What do you think?" Cameron asked. "Should I take it?" "Absolutely," I said right away. "This is your dream. I'd never hold you back." "You could never hold me back," he said, pulling me close. "Come with me. To the fights, the training camps, all of it. I don't want to do this without you." And that's exactly what we did. I shifted to remote work with my design job, and we started traveling together. Dallas, San Antonio, Las Vegas. I watched every fight. He won some and lost some, but through it all, we were happy. His first loss was in Las Vegas against a veteran fighter who'd been in the ring for over 15 years. Cameron fought well, but the other man was simply better that night. When the judges announced the decision, I saw the disappointment in Cameron's eyes. Later, in our hotel room, he sat silently on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. "You fought well," I said. "Not well enough. You can't win every fight, Cameron. That's not how this works." "I know. It's just, I wanted to win that one for you." I sat beside him. "You don't have to win for me. I just need you to stay safe, stay healthy, and come home to me. That's all I care about." He finally looked up and smiled faintly. "How did I get so lucky?" "We both did," I said. 6 months into his new contract, we were in Phoenix the night before a match. Cameron should have been resting, but he was sitting nervously at the edge of the bed. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Nothing," he said, standing up and pulling a small box from his gym bag. My heart stopped. "Madison," he said, "I know I told you I wasn't proposing at the farmer's market, but that was months ago. I've been carrying this around to every fight, waiting for the right moment. And I realized there is no perfect moment. There's just us, and I don't want to wait anymore." He opened the box. Inside was a simple, beautiful ring. "Will you marry me?" I couldn't speak. I just nodded, tears streaming down my face. He slipped the ring on my finger, and we both cried. That was 2 months ago. We're planning a small wedding now, just close friends and family. Jessica is my maid of honor. Cameron's brothers are flying in from Minnesota. Planning with Cameron has been both sweet and hilarious. This huge fighter sitting in a bakery, earnestly debating the merits of buttercream versus fondant. "I want lemon," he said during our tasting. "With raspberry filling," I added. The baker laughed. "You two are made for each other." We chose a small outdoor ceremony at his gym's open training area, an unexpected but fitting location. "It's where we became who we are," Cameron said. Last week, I got a Facebook message from a private investigator named Tyler. "I heard you know Derek Morrison," it read. "I've been hired by his current girlfriend to look into some threatening behavior. Would you be willing to give a statement?" Apparently, Derek had moved on to another victim, a woman named Rachel. Unlike the rest of us, Rachel acted early and hired a PI before things escalated. Amber and I both gave our statements. Later, Tyler called again. "We've found 5 other women," he said. "Same pattern, same behavior. We're building a case. Would you testify if this goes to court?" I looked at Cameron, who was making dinner in our kitchen. Our home, our life. "Yes," I said. "I'll testify." 3 weeks later, Tyler called again. "Derek's been served with a restraining order. The district attorney is reviewing charges for stalking and harassment. It's looking good." I called Amber, and she cried on the phone. "It's really over. It's finally over." That night, Cameron and I celebrated quietly. No champagne, no restaurant. Just the 2 of us on the couch watching a movie. "You did it," he said. "We did it," I corrected. "All of us." Cameron smiled. "You know the best part? Derek has to live with the fact that he lost. Not to me, not to another man, but to all of you. You took your power back." He was right. Keeling and family. The preliminary hearing was scheduled 2 months later, right after our wedding. Victoria, the prosecutor, had been handling domestic violence cases for over 15 years. "I've seen a lot of cases like this," she said, "but rarely this many survivors willing to speak up. You should be proud." "I'm just tired of being scared," I told her. "You won't have to be scared anymore," she said. "Not after this." As wedding plans continued, Cameron's mom flew in to help. She was exactly what I imagined: kind, funny, and deeply proud of her son. "Thank you for loving my boy," she told me, hugging me. "He's been through a lot. Lost his dad when he was 17. Fighting helped him process that pain." But you made him happy. That night, I asked Cameron about it. Car accident, he said quietly. Drunk driver. My dad was coming home from work. Gone instantly. So sorry. I don't talk about it much, but it's why I fight. My dad always told me to stand up for people who couldn't stand up for themselves. To use my strength for good. Fighting lets me do that. And so do you. Me? I asked. Yeah, standing up to Derek for you felt like honoring him. Like I was finally strong enough to protect someone the way I couldn't protect him. We both cried that night. Two broken people who somehow made something whole. Yesterday, I stopped by Target, the same one where all this began 3 years ago. In the cleaning aisle, a man smiled at me. I smiled back. Nothing bad happened. No fear. No Derek. Just a normal human moment. I bought my things, sat in the car, and took a deep breath. Free air. Safe air. Then I drove home to the life I built with Cameron. A home where I don't need to hide, where I can be myself, smile at strangers, and live without fear. Tonight, Cameron has a fight, a small local one. I'll be front row in his shirt, cheering like always, because that's what love looks like. Showing up, standing beside someone. And if anyone ever tries to make me small again, they'll have to go through Cameron first. Not because I need protection, but because we choose to protect each other. The wedding is in a week. Saturday evening at sunset. Jessica helped me find my dress. Simple, elegant, and perfect. You're glowing, she said when I tried it on. I've never seen you this happy. She was right. I am. Cameron hasn't seen the dress yet. He's traditional like that. You get punched in the face for a living, I teased. But you're superstitious about seeing my dress? Some things you don't mess with, he replied. His brothers arrived yesterday, immediately teasing him for going soft. He cried during a commercial, Jake said. It was about a dad teaching his daughter to ride a bike, Cameron defended. It was emotional. My mom's here too, and she and Cameron's mom became instant friends. He's good for you, my mom told me. You're yourself again. I'm better, I said, still working on it. She smiled. We all are. That's life. Looking ahead, the rehearsal dinner is tomorrow at the Farmer's Market burrito stand, where Cameron and I first talked. You, the vendor said when she saw us. The best kind. Tonight's fight will be his last before the wedding. I'm ready, wearing his shirt, my lucky jeans, waiting for Jessica to pick me up. Before heading into the locker room, Cameron texted me, "See you soon. I love you." After this, it's just us and forever. Just us and forever. I like that. Derek took 4 years of my life, my confidence, my freedom, my peace. But he doesn't get to take anything else. Not my future, not my happiness, not my Cameron. We took those back, and we're never giving them up again. The preliminary hearing is 2 weeks after the wedding. All 5 of us will testify. Victoria says Derek will likely take a plea. He's done, she said. Men like him only have power when their victims are alone. When you stand together, he's nothing. She's right. Sometimes I think about how one broken laptop led me to that repair shop and to Cameron. If it hadn't, I might still be living in fear. But I did meet him, a man who showed me that real strength isn't about control. It's about creating space for others to be free. That's the difference between Derek and Cameron. Derek made my world smaller. Cameron made it bigger. Derek made me afraid of my own shadow. Cameron taught me to walk in the light again. Next week, I'll marry the love of my life, soon to be Madison Chen. It feels like a new beginning. I won't say I'm thankful for what Derek did. Abuse doesn't make you stronger. It breaks you. You have to rebuild yourself piece by piece. But I am grateful for Cameron's patience and strength, for my own resilience, and for the life we built together. Derek is no longer part of my story. That chapter is closed. This is a new one, where love doesn't control you, it frees you. Where survivors win by simply living. And I did win. We all did. All of us who came forward. All of us who refused to stay silent. The wedding's in 6 days. The flowers are ready. The dress is hanging by the door. And for the first time in years, I'm not afraid, just hopeful, excited, and completely in love with this life I fought to reclaim. Because this time, it's finally mine.